Hello, Oracles! Well, Tesla's down 4% today as CPI misses expectations, coming in at an 8.3% when expectations were 8.1%. However, Tesla did outperform the market despite being down 4% on some very bullish news that we will get into in a moment. Before we get into that, I just wanted to go over a few channel things that are going on at the moment. So Sophie, thank you so much for being the first member of this channel. Memberships are open. If you go to my homepage, you can check out memberships there. There are 3 different levels. And as I've mentioned before, it is not required to be a member of the channel. It is just something to help support me. There are some perks to go along with it. And I'm actually going to be adding some perks to them as well for you guys. You get cool badges. I can see who's been a follower of the channel for a long time. And I'll give you guys priority in comments when it comes to the times when it gets too busy for me to get to everybody's comments. So if you guys want to check that out, there you can go ahead. Thank you again, Sophie. Next is the spam. So I am getting a lot of spam again. I am going to be a little bit more diligent trying to clean it up. It is very hard to get to. I'd rather focus on you guys, but the spam is getting out of control. I will try to do my best to get it cleaned up. So I apologize for that. If you see something that has to do with cryptocurrency or anything with WhatsApp, do not go into those. Those are spam. I will try to clean them. And the last piece is I know I've been talking about it for a while, trying to get some share screens going on here with my technology inabilities. I think I have figured it out. I just don't have time to test it during the week. I will be testing it out this weekend, so you guys can let me know on that, how I have done and if I am successful and what I can do to improve. All right, now on to the awesome stuff. So CPI missed. We talked about that. That is what caused the market to crash. So we've been talking about this for about a month and a half now, looking at how we've been running, looking at the cup and handle, looking how we could potentially see a fall back before we go up and have our full bull run going into the end of the year. Timing wise, I didn't know when it was going to happen. I figured we were going to see it sometime in the middle of this month. I thought we were going to come down, fill the gaps at 247 and 258. We now have a gap at 289 to 290. That did officially get filled today. So we have those other 2 gaps. Whether we pull back to those levels or not, I am not sure. But seeing as we had a massive pullback today of 4%, the market was down. We had the Nasdaq down over 5%. We had the S&P down about 4.5%. Those are massive losses for the day in the indices, so we could see more coming with PPI tomorrow and then the FOMC meeting coming next week. Right now, I'm still looking to see what we're looking at for a rate hike. Still looking at most likely this is going to solidify a 75 basis point hike. Don't know if maybe they're going to be talking about a 100 basis point hike coming in next week's meeting. That could be wild. Maybe that's going to be pulling us down even further. A lot of unknowns, but again, this is something we had talked about. I still have my buys in at 250. I anticipated this, just didn't know the fluctuations in between. Nobody knows those. So we were looking at different levels today of possibly pushing to 312. Of course, we got CPI, came crashing back down. So that's where we're at now. We closed under $300. We closed around the $291 level. So now we're just paying attention to what we can do pulling down further. If we do end up coming down further, we have 278 at the level below us as a support. Now, I was talking to Clueless in the comments as well, discussing how there's a lot of options for both puts and calls on this Friday around that $300 level. So I don't know if maybe we're going to push back up to that level. I don't know if there's a lot of people who maybe have cashed out their options early before we get to then. There's a lot of unknowns, but that is a level to possibly pay attention to going into Friday. Still, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of things that can transpire, but looking past the FOMC meeting, I think we have the clarity at that point. We know what the rate hike is going to be. And then we can probably see similar to what we had seen maybe back in March, which when we got the first interest rate hike going up, the market rallied afterwards. Not saying I think we're going to rally after that. We still have a lot of uncertainty, but we may at least get clarity to get the air cleared up. We have the uncertainty gone, and we can maybe kind of go green a little bit more, especially going into AI Day 2022. Then we get production and delivery numbers for Tesla. So lots of great things for Tesla. More awesome news that we got today. We had Martin Viecha was talking to Goldman Sachs, and Dave Lee did a great video on it today, breaking down some of the stuff that was going on. Gary Black had over on Twitter was discussing about how the most bullish thing that he had seen was the fact that Martin mentioned how they wanted to come out with a lower priced vehicle around that $30,000 to $35,000 range that is going to be coming out prior to the robotaxi release. Martin then responded to Gary saying that is not what he had said. We don't have any audio recordings from this meeting. We just have Business Insider's information coming out from this. So whether it happens or not prior to the robotaxi or after the robotaxi, that to me is very bullish because that confirms what I've been saying all along, which is the Model 2 or whatever it's going to be coming out, a compact car, a lower priced car, is going to be coming out around that 2024 to 2025 timeframe. And now when we're looking at that, we know the robotaxi is going to be something that is going to be a dedicated vehicle that is going to be part of the Tesla fleet. So they're going to have this fleet going out there. They're going to have a fleet program that goes with all of this. So that's going to be totally separate than a compact car that a consumer can actually own. The robotaxis, and of course we have no confirmation as how the robotaxis are truly going to work, but it sounds like it's going to be more fleet thing. It's not like, a consumer is going to be able to go and buy a robotaxi. Does not sound like that is going to be the plan, but with a compact car coming out or a lower priced vehicle, I think what it comes down to is, as Martin had mentioned, it is lowering the cost of vehicles. So the cost of vehicles has come down from $87,000 in 2017 to $36,000 in 2022, and that is going to come down even more, especially as we ramp up the 4680 batteries. And you have to remember, we are still early on in the EV revolution. So having the cost coming down over the last 5 years by $50,000 tells me there's still a lot of fat we can trim off of this and bring the cost down even more. So if we bring down the cost another $10,000, you start selling a vehicle at $30,000 to $35,000, you can still make some very good profits on this vehicle because the costs have come down even more significantly. So we're going to see this happen, and the 4680s are going to make a huge difference in that, and it's going to impact that as we get those ramped up, because then we're going to hit economies of scale when it comes to the batteries themselves. Now we start looking at the lithium refining. If Tesla does end up going into lithium refining, getting more battery component materials themselves, then we are going to be looking at even lower costs because Tesla doesn't have to pay a middleman. There's no margins that they're paying to somebody else to get these materials. They're producing them themselves. So they're basically using materials at cost, which is going to be even lower, bringing the cost of producing vehicles down even more. And then timing-wise, when it comes to refining all those materials themselves, if that's going to be that 2024 to 2025 timeframe, now we're looking at a much larger total addressable market when it comes to both the robotaxis and the more compact, less expensive vehicle, because when that vehicle comes out, that is going to open up a massive total addressable market there for them. So they're going to need to have all of these materials ready to go. This is something Elon has been predicting when it comes to that bottleneck. He sees that they are going to be coming out with this vehicle. He knows what that market size is. He knows how much they're going to need to produce as far as vehicles go when it comes to that level of vehicle, so they need to make sure they have the materials for this. They are building up this foundation and laying all the groundwork they need for all of these plans. We're getting all the little pieces of information telling us what their plans are for the future, 2 and 3 years down the road, and they're also telling us that they are planning for all of this. And this is all going to go into Master Plan Part 3 as well when it comes to the EVs, when it comes to getting the compact car put out there, and then it's going to go into energy as well, which is something we are going to be diving deeper into as the rest of this year goes on, because that is the next giant S-curve that is coming. Lots of bullish information we are getting. I have seen this happen in the past. We get a lot of great bullish information that kind of comes out during times where the market is very uncertain and unsettled. We see a lot of red in the stock price, a lot of red in the market, but if you pay attention to the bullish news that is coming out, those are the fundamental pieces of information that I invest in. This is why getting a 4% drop in the price today, looking at gaps down to the 247 level, I'm excited. I want to see the stock pull down, fill that gap at 247. I will load the boat even heavier at those levels because of this bullish information we got out of Martin today. And then some other bullish news we got. So Danny Cheng, I want to shout you out over on Twitter. He had mentioned how he's living in Hong Kong, and over there, every single shopping center has Tesla chargers all over the place. This is something we don't hear a lot about, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Where do you see chargers popping up near you? I know we have them here. They're popping up at a lot of the gas stations. Usually it's gas stations on the highway, so kind of normal there, but we also see them popping up in other places. I have them at the casinos that are near me. We have them at some shopping centers around us as well. So let me know where in the world you guys live and where you are seeing EV charging charging stations popping up, in particular Tesla charging stations, in places that aren't like a charging station itself. Maybe they're at shopping centers, maybe they're at hotels. So let me know in the comments where you guys see these. Thank you, Danny, for pointing that out, because that's a big piece of this, because that infrastructure, it is what is going to help the whole entire EV revolution take over. And when it comes to Tesla and it comes to their profitability, these are things, because they're opening it up to all EVs around the world. This is really going to help change that EV revolution. And these little things are going to help hit Tesla's bottom line even more. So let me know in the comments below. Let me know how you feel. We filled that gap down to 290 today. We closed under 300, could potentially pull down further. Are you excited to see us pull down more and buy some more? I have been talking to many of you in the comments, very excited about all of this. So let's see where we move from here. I know after this, I am very bullish long term. I really do think that if we pull down further and fill these gaps, that will make me satisfied, because we can pull down, fill those gaps, and then there's nothing below us to fill, and we can just run to the moon. So that's where I'm looking at right now. Not sure if we're gonna get there, but let me know how you guys feel about that. And let me know how you guys feel about what Martin said today about that less expensive vehicle coming out in the next couple of years, and what you think that is going to do for Tesla and their bottom line as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. We do have the membership program if you'd like to check that out on the main page. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, I do have a Patreon. I do share all of my price targets, my valuation, and all of my production forecasts over there as well. Thank you so much. Have a great one.